I created the game together with my friend Morituri for the Global Game Jam 2022. We delivered a first MVP, or more a prototype, and won the first place. While working on the game, we had so much fun and great ideas for it, so we decided to keep working on it and to create the coolest jump and run on core. And I would like to take you guys with me on this journey. The first video of this series will be about how we started from scratch and made a game in 1 week that won $5,000. Alright, so in a game jam, everything starts with the announcement of the theme. This year's theme was Duality, a pretty cool theme with a lot of possibilities. I ever wanted to create my own jump and run game on the core platform, because it's pretty easy to create, a good way to practice my coding skills, and great to prepare yourself for bigger and more complex projects. Two of my favorite jump and runs are Unravel and It Takes Two.
You're a doll, Cody. You've nothing to throw up.
Told you.
And in both games you have to work together with another character to proceed, which fits super great into the theme. To dig even more into the theme and to have a clear picture in mind, I wrote a quick narrative for us. The game is about technology and nature fighting against each other. Manifested into characters by the keeper of the universe, they have to find a way out to work together and to gain old strength. So with the basic game idea and narrative, it's time to organize the work in a team. I created a design doc where both of us wrote down some ideas for the game. Created a Trello board with tasks to have a clear overview of our workload and how things are going. And finally set up a Git repo for us to work in. With all that set up, we started creating the first puzzles. We created a rock that can be pulled out by the treant, a gate that can be opened as soon as a character interacts with a trigger, and a drawbridge that lowers when both characters are on the right spot at the same time. With the short deadline in mind, we had to be careful how big the game is going to be and focus on a very basic MVP. So everything we created from art to code was just the version 0.9. It was also important for us to make it playable for single players, otherwise folks would have to wait a long time to queue up with someone. So we decided to create a single player approach first, and once all that is done and working, we would head over to the co-op gameplay. While I modeled and rigged our characters, Morituri wrote the script that empowers the player to switch between the two characters. We always have a dummy character in the right position, rigged our costumes onto an animated mesh, put it into a template and spawn it as soon as the player switches character by pressing a key. This way the abandoned character looks alive and we are able to let him play some animations. Once all that was set up, I started creating the level design and Morituri made sure all our scripts do not cause any bugs. I've set up a design library with the different jump heights. Green and yellow are easy jumpable, orange barely, and the first red height is not possible with a single jump, and the second red wall is not reachable with a double jump. This way I can quickly produce the right level design. And over here I have some basic obstacles, rotating cylinders, moving platforms, jump pad and swinging obstacles. I can just copy and paste them into the right spot. I whiteboxed the path, added our puzzles and wrote some notes with world text on certain areas when some cool ideas came into my mind while creating. I have split the level into different parts. The first spawn room where you meet the keeper of the universe, get to know more about the game's story, learn to navigate, jump and double jump. The second part teaches the player shift to sprint and combine it with double jump to proceed. In the next part the player meets Bart, the treant character, and got to solve the first puzzle. The robot cannot proceed in the water, so the player is forced to switch to the treant character and create a platform for the robot. After creating the platform, the player can switch back to the robot, jump on the platform and reach the next stage of the level. After some more jump and run elements, the player faces the first drawbridge puzzle that needs to be solved with both characters. And the last part of the level is a mix of obstacles, puzzles and jump and run elements. Placed everything and the basic level design of our first level is done. While Morituri optimized all the new stuff I brought in, I started creating the art for the level. I'm beginning with the spawn room. I expanded the white box a bit to match my imagination. With the architecture done, I'm adding lighting and VFX. The next step is setting up the post-process for the level. This not only shows us how the final scene will look like, it also motivates me when I'm working in a beautiful environment. After the first art pass of the start room, I added the intro cinematic, the tutorial pop-up logic and the UI. Thanks to Standard Combo for his easy-to-use community content cinematic shots. While working on the game, I stumbled over my friend Windfall Drifters, aka Witcher, insanely cool guitar-playing raccoon. I instantly knew this has to be our Keeper of the Universe. After placing the Keeper, I grabbed Commander Fu's dialogue system from community content, thanks for that buddy, and added some interactive dialogues with hints and story explanation to our Keeper. The final touch to our spawn room is an interactive animation. As soon as the player reaches this podest, a roof piece crashes on the floor. This not only provides a shortcut for the player in case he does not make all jumps, it's also a cool and interactive touch. Now it's time to create a nice little background. The first level takes place in the Temple of the Keeper of the Universe. Together with our theme, technology and nature, I decided to create some ancient sci-fi ruins up in the clouds. Besides the art style, is this also giving us a reasonable jump and run element when the player gets teleported to the spawn point once he falls through a gap in the clouds. Adding some colorful trees and some nice temple ruins, and here we go, a beautiful background. Getting started is always the most difficult task. With the first room done and a clearly defined art style, it's now way easier to create the rest of the level. Same procedure for all the other levels. First art pass, add cinematic and then tutorial. With my other projects from Team Meta and Morituri's day job, we slowly ran out of time, even though we focused on the very basic MVP. So it was time to speed up a little bit and to grind double shifts over the last weekend of the jam. We added the new shift to sprint puzzle. I took a first art pass in high speed over our white boxing, and Morituri created some collectibles for us. I created the art for those and placed the collectibles around the map. And after countless hours of hard work and the last few hours of our deadline, we tested the game, fixed as much bugs as possible and submitted it to all instances. Next on our list after the jam is the multiplayer mode, polishing and optimizing more puzzles and damageable objects together with cool abilities for our characters. So stay tuned for the next episode of this devlog and let me know in the comments if you have any feedback or ideas for the game or my devlogs.